Hello everybody, I'm very excited for today's episode because I am shooting with the one, the only Keon, my best friend.
Hello, it's me.
And you,
They look mean.
oh god, to look derogatory.
Excuse you?
Can you at least change his wings? His wings to something.
What?
Like the leeway ones, I'm sure you
Wow.
have the leeway ones. Make him look fiery.
Leeway one.
Make him look presentable.
Concealing snow then?
No, the leeway ones.
The golden flight?
Yes.
Sigh. There, golden flight equipped.
Okay. So today we're going to be doing farming for, hopefully I'm going to get a circlet for my Ayato because he be needing it. He needs it. Did you see my Ayato?
May the RNG be in your favor.
I hope. Did you see my Ayato's crit? It is. It's quite sexy. I don't mean to brag,
Okay.
but I'm bragging at the same time.
I mean, have you seen my Ganyu script?
I know.
Look at Ganyu.
Are you gonna kill those pigeons?
Hey,
I see Deluxe vision is glowing, which means his ult is up. Is it up?
Oh, like this?
Yes. Come on.
KFC anybody?
Yay! Bye.
I mean, not wrong either, so you know, it's all good.
That's the excuse for you.
Free fall.
What to me? Do you remember that one event where we had to look through the thing and Timmy's imaginary friend was a rune god?
Oh yeah.
It's so whack.
Ooh. Problems in it.
That's
If that
real.
thing ever materialized, we in real problems.
That is okay. That is not the price I'm willing to pay for fall. But today, as I say, we're going to be farming, but we're also going to be talking about something extremely interesting. But first things first, Keon, please introduce yourself.
Yes.
Tell us about yourself, please.
Well, hi, I am Renee's best friend, and she's also my best friend.
Woo-hoo.
I work in the library as a computer technician. Let's see, what else you need to know? We went to Costa together, that's how we met. And we've been best friends for almost 10 years now?
Yeah, woof. Woof. 10 years, boy.
Hey, but I ain't old.
Woof. 10, boy. Pops.
How old 10?
Oh, God. We're gonna grow old together. Oh, that's cool. But and I guess that's a good segue into what we're talking about today with regard to simple joys in life, because you have been not that you're a simple joy in my life, but you are a joy in my life, and something that I gravitate towards you when I'm feeling down. So just in the general scheme of things, what are some of the things that you feel compelled to gravitate toward when you're feeling like down? I know, like for me, it's obviously Genshin Impact, because you know I play Genshin Impact as therapy.
Yeah.
So what are the things you feel compelled or drawn to when you play Genshin Impact, or when you feel sad?
For me, when I'm sad, I would turn to like doing my gaming or watching my anime, reading manga, getting lost in things that it would be like I wouldn't have to focus on what's going on in front of me right now. I could immerse myself in something else that's positive, and I could focus on that.
So
Enough that I could center myself and get back into a stable state that I can face what I need to in front of me.
right, because essentially you don't want to get lost or too lost in what you're using as that sort of catharsis and escape, right? Because then it becomes potentially dangerous.
Right, it's just meant to be a temporary measure to taper off the intensity of what I'm feeling, and then allow that to work for me to get back to a level of stability that I could focus on the problem in front of me.
That makes sense.
Effectively.
Because you don't wanna, I guess it's all about making sure that whatever you're using as well is not only distracting but effective. Because you don't want to
Yes,
be doing
because you
something and
need
then
to
you
be able.
just you don't really particularly enjoy doing it.
Yeah, and then too, you don't want it that you want
Ah,
to be able to get a bit of a distraction from the situation at hand, yes,
yeah,
but at the same time, you don't want it to be something that now becomes another problem because you're so engulfed in it.
that makes sense. That makes sense. Because you never want anything to become too obsessive or too. Yeah, you ever
Yeah.
had that thing? You ever had that it ever happened to you before where you use something as a sort of escape, and because it becomes such a vital part of your healing that it kind of becomes burdensome or tiresome because it just stops working. What nonsense is this artifact?
I try not to let things get to that point. Like I could realize that okay, this has worked for me as an escape method or something to cope, and while I may use it a few times, it's not something I would not allow myself to become so dependent on it that
Mm,
if I can't use it, that I would feel upset or it would become a burden, as you said.
right, right. How do you differentiate that though? Like, how do you get to the point where you say, okay, here what? I need to step back from this, or it's not essentially helping me in any way, or it's just adding to the damage of the feeling. Like, what's your thought process with regard to taking things, you know, pulling it back?
Um, for me, I would look at how much time I'm spending with it, how much effort I'm putting into said escape method,
Mm-hmm.
and yes, there's going to be periods of time where it may be needed more than others. But if it is, I find myself becoming excessively dependent on it and like snapping at people if I can't get it and being
Mm,
generally unreasonable, then that's when you know you're getting to the point that you need to take a step back and really assess what it is that you're doing.
mm. Okay, that's good advice. That's good advice. You're trying to tell me to stop playing Genshin so often and smart?
No, no, no. I would never tell you to stop playing Genshin.
Hey! Okay, I got a crit rate.
No, you use Genshin in a healthy way.
Do I really?
That's why I
Oh
encourage you.
my goodness, not a high. I got wow. Okay, you know, if these
The RNG works in
artifacts,
your favor.
I hope. Let's see if it rolls, but I'm still gonna continue because I'm not. I still, you know, when you get a crit rate circlet, but then you have to depend on the RNG to roll the crit damage because it doesn't have the fourth
Oh,
substat yet. Yeah, I'd rather get the
yeah.
crit rate and then have like already have the crit damage on the the other substats. So I don't want to have to roll
Yeah,
twice.
makes sense. Makes
I
sense.
know you've been having some good times in your life recently.
Of course, of course, of course.
So, uh, but I also know that with good times, tribulation seems to always follow no matter what, no matter how happy you feel. There always seems to be something that lingers there or starts to get in the way of that happiness. How do you deal with that? Like if you're in a good position and you want to stay there, but it's hard because life trying you.
Hmm. In those kind of situations, the way I see it, people always, no matter what you do, no matter how good of a person you are, if you've had a bad past and you've become a better person now, kudos to you for that. But somewhere, somebody is always gonna have something negative to say. They're gonna try and try and put you down or just something negative. And generally, I tend to not really care what people think of me or what they say about me because if I really was to take on half the things people have been saying about me or been thinking about me, I might have probably make a jail by now. But honestly, at the end of the day, if if you are not feeding me, if you're not financing me or bringing any kind of happiness to my life, then I generally do not really care about your opinion. You are entitled to your opinion as wrong as it may be. or misinformed, depending on the situation, because a lot of people will just run on hearsay and not actually confirm the facts of the situation and what they've been told.
Mhm.
So there's always going to be people like that. And it makes no sense focusing energy on that when you could focus it on building what you have that brings you happiness. I'm not saying to just totally ignore things because there's always going to be somebody trying to take malicious things to the next level.
Right.
So you always need to be on guard for that. But
Yes.
also don't invest so much of your energy into those negative situations that it takes away from what you have in front of you that brings you your happiness.
Exactly. And I guess with that mindset too, you learn to start appreciating these simple joys in life even more because it's these things that tend to keep us grounded, right?
Yep,
The little
definitely.
the little things that really wake us up and be like, hey, I I need to really understand that this is enjoyable to me, and most times it outweighs the bad, as small as it may be.
That's something a lot of people don't realize. At the end of the day, like take away all the bigger things, the worldly possessions, the status, like none of those things matter at the end of the day, you know. It's really the little things that matter and make you happy,
That
right?
is so true.
And all you need to do is really pay attention to what's in front of you. Once you pay attention to the little things in front of you and don't take on so much the bigger things, yes, money is important. Yes, having certain things is important for, you know, general stability and well-being in life, but just taking simple things into consideration, like having a cup of tea in the morning, your favorite flavor, um, coming home at the end of the day and your spouse greets you, or even just a little message during the day, right? Showing that care that you're paying attention to the little details, it goes a long way in the long run. This is cool.
There he is.
It's all about balance in life, really.
It is, it really is. Balancing no, and that whole talk about balancing actually, balancing um has a lot to do, or has a very big part to play with, I feel, with mental health, because to be shouldering so many things and being unable to kind of pinpoint where you want your focus, if you don't have that balance, then it can kind of get kind of
Yeah,
cloudy, and you start to get it's so easy to get disoriented if you don't have that balance between things, because I can safely say that too often in my experience, like if I fall into a relapse with my depression, too often I would try to consume so many of the things that make me feel better, that I tend to send myself into a sort of overload. Ha, no pun intended. Overload. I tend to send myself into a sort of mental coma, so to speak, that I can't even enjoy the things that make me feel better, because there's no balance of how I I use it. So I think that's
right.
where
In
you
that
really have to be
case,
careful,
yeah, everything in moderation.
for sure.
Everything needs to be taken in moderation.
But as we're
Right.
seated here, getting memories of that 100-year long quest that we had to do when
Ah,
we first started in the Zuma. You remember that? You remember
yes, I remember that you're making me shake right now.
that?
Couldn't take two steps without getting struck by lightning.
Inazuma was not friendly, but as we're seated here, um, first of all, thank you for being here, for episode 3 of Motivational Teyvat.
You're most welcome. I will join you anytime you need me to.
I would gladly have you back if you would want to do it again, of course, because I'm always playing Genshin Impact. But it's something I like to do is ask the people that I have on here, uh, would you like to leave us with any words of wisdom or any advice you see fit?
Okay. Let's see. Hmm.
Yes.
Always talk out your issues with somebody.
Mm.
However, make sure that is a trusted confidant. You don't want to talk to somebody and then Tom, Dick, and Harry know your business, especially if it's confidential stuff you're talking about.
Right.
Right? And when you are talking, or if you are the person that somebody is reaching out to, don't just listen to respond, listen to understand.
Thank you again for being here. Now I have to go edit
You're most
this.
welcome.
Well, I guess that is where we end off for today, guys. This has been Motivational Teyvat episode 3. I'm Renee, and this is Keon signing off, and we will see you next Friday. Bye!
Hi.
Sometimes
But
listen to me very carefully. There's a big grasshopper watching me from that leaf, and it is about to hop through this window. So I'm just gonna
it's not going to hop through the window.
close my window immediately. It's not even a grasshopper, it's a locust. So listen
Oh,
carefully. That thing is huge.